What a beautiful day indeed. It's sort of like red hot out there. Not that I have had a chance to get in the garden much today. It's been one hectic day. So I've been talking to production companies, I've been filming videos for my martial arts school. So many books as well. Thank you so much to everybody who's gone out and bought a signed copy of my book, or gone and bought a book full stop. Amazon have completely sold out. I know there's stock in the UK, they're just being held at a warehouse, so you know, Amazon have just got to wait for new stock to come through. And but like I say, I'm literally at the post box every day sending out signed copies of the book, which is fantastic. So thank you very much for everybody who's gone out and bought a copy of my Chinese takeaway cookbook with the veggie. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me yet again. I think this is week 9 from my primary school Chinese takeaway cook along. Music today is from Etta James. I just found like nice chilled out music, and the dish we're cooking is my chicken and sweet corn soup. So I think last time I was on last week, we had quite a few people asking about, come on, let's do a chicken and sweet corn soup. And the only reason I've not done it before is because it's such a simple dish, which actually is perfect, especially if your Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 children are cooking your lunch today. So kids, are you ready? Because this is dead simple. It's in one pan. I've measured everything out, and I'm going to run through the ingredients in a second. And then you can go and do that, and I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we can start cooking. And hopefully by about 20 past 12, we're going to be tucking into a big bowl of chicken and sweet corn soup. Okay, so ingredients. I have 800 ml of chicken stock. If you are doing a vegetarian version of this one, you can use vegetable stock. There's no problems at all. I do have some sesame oil, which goes into the very, very end. There's a chicken breast there, and all I've done is poach this in warm water or boiling water until it's cooked, waited for it to cool, and chopped it into just slivers. You can chop it into cubes, so however you want to chop it down, but it does need to be chopped down. Okay. Cream sweet corn. I've had a lot of people asking about, oh, where do I get cream sweet corn from? I suppose I must be quite lucky here in Leicester, because I can pretty much walk into the local co-op and they sell it on the shelves. If you have had trouble buying the cream sweet corn, it really is as simple as getting a tin of sweet corn, popping it into your blender and blitzing it for 20 seconds, and you have cream corn. I know there are some recipes out there where they add cream and they add salt and they add pepper. I don't think you need to do that. It's going in a soup. So basically get a tin of sweet corn, blitz it for 20 seconds, and you'll have cream corn. You will also need an egg beaten. I've got 2 eggs because, again, I like eggs in my soup. This soup traditionally is known as an egg drop soup. So we're going to drop some egg in a bit. For a bit of colour, I've got some frozen peas. You can still see the ice on there and they're all sticking together. So these have been out the freezer now for about half an hour, maybe an hour, but they're defrosting. I've got some salt, which we may add and which we may not. Depends, we'll taste the soup as we add the ingredients, and the salt will be one of the last things that we add. Again, if we are looking at trying to lower our intake of sodium, I think it's sodium, isn't it, or salt, we can add as much or as less as we want to. White pepper makes all the difference. Now, I know some of you guys are using black pepper. It will change the taste. White pepper offers this subtle background heat. And again, I know it's for the children, but it's so subtle, you just get this nice warmth coming through the soup. So white pepper if you've got it. And the very last thing is about 2 tablespoons, heaped tablespoons of corn flour mixed with about 4 tablespoons of water, just to make a corn flour slurry. Okay, so if you want to go and get your mums and dads and go and raid the cupboard to start putting the ingredients together, I'll chat with whoever's watching, and then we'll give you a couple of minutes and then we'll get cooking. All right. Now, you don't have to use a wok for this. I'm using my brand new, only used once or twice Netherton, which is the round bottom version, so it's lovely and round, and I've got my proper Chinese ladle. You probably also noticed as well, I'm wearing a new shirt. I had a lovely surprise come through the post the other day, and my clothing sponsor, John Banks, Ian, and John from Espionage had sent me some new shirts. So this is one of my brand new shirts. I'm hoping I'm not going to splash it today. Right then, kids, are we ready? Okay, so get your pan, stick it over the heat, and the very, very first thing we're going to do is add our chicken, vegetable, seafood stock, or whatever stock it is. And again, this is about 800 ml. You could use a litre, 1.2 litres, depends on how many people are having it this lunchtime. And I'll just pop that one to one side. And we're just going to let that come up to heat. So it's going to be like 3 minutes now, me just staring at the screen because no one's talking to me. Oh, I'll amuse myself. I might read one of my books. What recipe shall we do next week? Should we do another veggie one? How about, what's a nice quick one? Oh, how about mushroom lo mein? So we do a nice noodle dish next week. Now the lo mein is different to the chow mein because chow mein is fried noodles and the lo mein is actually cooked in a sauce. So there's the difference, if you didn't know the two differences. Lo mein is very popular in America. My stock's come up to the boil. So at this point, I'm going to add my corn. Now there's about 2/3 of a tin here of sweet corn. You can use a whole tin if you've got a big one, but I'm just going to use 2/3. I'm going to just get my little spoon. I can then not waste anything. I may just use this for now then, actually. So that's my sweet corn in, and I'm also going to add my chicken. Now the chicken is cooked, but I am going to be reheating it again, so I just want to make sure that it's reheated properly. So in goes my chicken breast, or half a chicken breast, cut into bite-sized pieces. Right, let's give that a stir. So at the moment, all that's in here is my chicken stock, my corn, which is about 2/3 of a tin of cream sweet corn, and a chicken breast, which is just chopped into bite-sized pieces or slithers. So I'm just going to see if this stock needs seasoning. I don't think it does, if I'm honest. I've used, I think they're Oxo chicken stock cubes, and there's probably 1 or 2 in there. I can't remember now what I was doing this morning. So I don't think that needs any salt, but check your seasoning, because it may need just a little bit of salt. Now to this, I'm going to add approximately 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I do say approximately, it just depends on how much background heat you want. So I'm going to add about that much. Now I don't know if you can see that because we are filming in 1080 because we are live streaming. But yeah, so it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon anyway. So I'm just going to pop that into my soup and give it a stir. And again, all I do now is just check the seasoning again, just to make sure there's enough background heat. Which is nice. So there's just a nice little bit of background heat coming through now. Salty enough for me, so I'm not going to add any salt. I'm back up to the boil. Now I'm going to add my peas. Now again, chances are you're cooking this a lot quicker at home because your gas stove's going to be better than my little camping one. So peas go in just to warm through. Now as the peas are warming, I just need you to get your fingers into this corn flour and water. What happens is, because it's been sitting a little while, it tends to harden or solidify again. So I need to get this, so you can see how it's kind of like quite hard at the bottom. So just carefully and patiently pinch the corn flour and water together, and it will completely turn into a liquid again. So that's my corn flour mixed again. Key ingredients for Chinese cuisine: sesame oil, light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, Chinese rice wine, maybe some rice vinegar, definitely salt, definitely white pepper, a good oyster sauce, and you're pretty much there. There are going to be dishes like the black bean or the Szechuan or the chili dishes. Predominantly, they're your store cupboard essentials. Things that you need to have in the cupboard are garlic, ginger, and spring onion. Classic Cantonese cuisine will always have garlic, ginger, or spring onion in. So that's good. Okay, so before we put the egg in, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to thicken my soup. So the soup has come up to the boil. My corn flour and water is completely mixed together. And just keeping this stirring, I'm just going to pour in the corn flour ever so slowly. Now, I may use all of this, I may not. It just depends on how thick you want your soup. So there is no exact science, because sometimes it thickens really quickly, other times it takes a little while. So just be patient. Now you want it thick enough so it coats the back of the spoon, and I'll try and show you in a second. And when you run your finger through the back of the spoon, it should just leave like a trail. So I think that is thick enough now. So I don't know if you can see that, but look, you see how I've drew a line through the back of the spoon, and the liquid is either side of that, and it's completely dry in the middle. Okay, so that's what you want. Okay, at this point you can switch off your soup. I know I've not added the egg, but the egg will cook really quickly. Now, just like when we added the corn flour, add your egg exactly the same way. So this is why it's called egg drop, because you're literally going to pour or drop the egg into the soup. And we're going to create swirls as we do this. And the recipe only calls for 1 egg. I like lots of egg in mine, so I've got 2 eggs. And there you go, there's the egg cooked. Let's move this to one side and clear. The very last thing, I always say, a little bit of seasoning of sesame oil. So I'm going to add, it's quite a big portion, there's about enough for here for about 2 or 3 people, so I'm going to add about a teaspoon of sesame oil. Okay, there's that done. I'm just going to mix in that sesame oil. I'm going to take a big ladle of this soup. And again, mine's very eggy because I've added extra egg. You don't have to add as much as I have. And there we have it, children. You've cooked mum and dad a beautiful bowl of chicken and sweet corn soup. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, I'm back here at 6:30 tonight, where I'm going to be doing a king prawn pad thai. Okay, it's not technically Chinese takeaway, even though there are a lot of Chinese takeaways now that do offer this dish. In Chinese, it's called a king prawn ho fun. Ho fun meaning fried rice noodle. Okay, so so tonight we're doing a king prawn pad thai. But until then, go and enjoy your chicken and sweet corn soup, and I shall see you later. Chicken and sweet corn soup with loads of egg in it, pieces of chicken popping out the top, peas, cream sweet corn. Perfect lunch, I think.